We are at the Bentonville Square, which is the center of Bentonville. Everybody comes here all times of the day and weekends, events, just to walk around. This is where they have the first Fridays of every month, where they have all kind of vendors set up on all these streets. They have them all shut off to the public. Over here is a 21C. That is the first hotel that they had down here at the square. It was the only one for many, many years. And they just built another one down that street. And then they just built this one. It just opened a few weeks ago. This used to be a street that ran through here, but as you can see, they have changed it into a walkway. Because there's a lot of people who walk and bike around here. A lot of bikers. And beyond the 21C Hotel, there is Lawrence Plaza. It is a splash pad during the summer, and during the winter, they make it into a ice skating rink. We'll walk over there and look at it. The 21C is a hotel that has its own art museum inside. My leg is crazy. We're not as young as we used to be, right? This basketball goal is actually a work of art. It's very nice. I've never seen anybody out here trying to hit all the baskets, though. I don't think they let us actually shoot on it. And this car here is actually, when we get closer, you can see it. It is covered in pennies. It is an art piece all of its own. Well, there's pennies and there's nickels on the hood. But it's all nickels and pennies. There's some dimes down there. It's all change. It's pretty nice. You know, it took a long time to get all of those on there. Very nice. And I don't know if you remember or not, but I believe that above the tag is where the gas tank is. I remember my grandpa had a car. I had to pull it down, put the gas tank in. Put the gas in the tank in. This is a bench made of cement suitcases. They have a nice place to eat in here. It's called the Hive. They used to have, like I said, the road used to run through here so people could drop people off, pick people up here at the 21C, but now they've made it just a walking thing. So there is a circle over here where people can be picked up and dropped off. It's not too much of an inconvenience, but just something if you're coming to visit and you're staying at the 21C, you might need to know. As you can see, there's some of the bikers. They have all kinds of bike rallies around here, bike races and poker runs and things that run from Fayetteville up here. Back it's about 40 miles. There's a lot of bike trails all around here. There's biking paths. There's Slaughter Pig Pen Trail and the Back 40 and Razorback Greenway. They run all throughout all the towns. So this is Lawrence Plaza, and they still have it as an ice rink. Nobody's skating right now, but like I said, during the summer it's a splash pad, but during the winter they turn it into an ice rink. Looks like it's not totally frozen right now, though. That's probably why. We've had a few 70-degree days this week, even though we are in February. Let's see. It's pretty big. And then across the street there's Compton Gardens. That is a 1.5-mile trail that goes from here to the back of Crystal Bridges to the south entrance. It's a very nice walk. They have all kinds of sculptures and things along the way for you to look at. So here's the 21C, and they have made this road that used to come through a spot where you can turn around and drop people off here or pick people up. And then there's a parking structure right there that goes for guests of the 21C. If you're coming to the square for any events, you can also park there, and it is free parking. That place over there has a gym and a restaurant, and I'm not sure all what it has inside of it. My cousin works there, has for years. I should ask him. So we are back at the square, and if you see right there in the middle of that building, it's Walton's Five and Dime. That is where Sam Walton opened up his first store. It used to be a bill store that he worked at, and he bought it and turned it into Walton's Five and Dime before eventually branching out and becoming the Walmart that he is. That first store at Walmart was at 8th and Walnut Street. The building is still there, but it's something else now. The store that they're calling the number one store now is at 2110 West Walnut in Rogers. In 2018, they filmed a sci-fi family movie here called Freddy. F.R.E.D.I. And it focused on the Bentonville Square here. You'll see all of this in there in that video. And every year, this is the host to the Bentonville Film Festival that is brought to us by Gina Davis. She's been doing it for over 10 years now. And it draws people from all over, and there's celebrities here, and it's really cool. It's more geared towards women in film, though. But if you go into the Walton's Five and Dime there, it looks like an old storefront in the front, and then as you walk around inside, it walks you through the history of Walmart and how it became. And that is Sam's actual truck that he used to drive. And then you see that building up there on the right? That is the Ledger. It's a bikeable building. It has a ramp on the outside where you can ride your bike from the ground all the way up to the top. There are plenty of places to eat around here. Table Mesa is a good one. It's very popular. And there's some down there by that hotel. There's Taco and Tamale here. There's the Preacher's Son, which is a church around the block, an old church around the block. And there's just all kinds of places around here to eat. And this is the Spark Cafe. You can get ice cream in there. We'll go in here to the Walton's Five and Dime so you can see what it looks like. Hi. I haven't been here since the remodel.
Well, welcome. You're in for a treat.
Yeah, they have really done this up. It used to just be the one story, but now you can see where they have actually opened it up to a second story there and really spread it out. This is actually Sam's office where he did all his brainstorming and came up with Walmart. And this is preserved how it was. And that statue on the table is actually of his dog. Let's go see what they got upstairs. Okay, so that's a tour of the Walton Five and Dime. Hope you enjoyed it. So this is the Ozark Mountain Bagel Company. Here we have a dog bakery. Most everything in Bentonville is service oriented or little mom and pop places. If you want the big retail places, you have to go to Rogers for those. It's not far, just a couple miles on the other side of the interstate. And right here on the corner, this is the Fat Tire Shop. It's a bike shop, and it's prominently featured in that movie that I mentioned earlier. It is prominently featured in that movie that I talked about earlier, Freddie. It stars Tyler Christopher, who has since passed away, and Kelly Hu, to name a few. And this is the Once Upon a Time bookstore. It's been here for a few years. This is Yi Yo's Mexican truck here, and this white building you see, that's a flying fish. It's a seafood restaurant here at the square. See, you see the big fat tires on there? Guess they're really big about the Vikings here. And then we've got some old churches here. And that big Bentonville Tower, that's also in that movie. And there is the old Bentonville High School, which is right down that road also, that they used for the child in the movie's school also. Here's another nice little restaurant. Right down here on the left, by that skywalk, there's a great Italian restaurant there. This church right here on the corner, this is called the Preacher's Son. The basement's actually been turned into a restaurant, and it's very good. And this is called the Barber now. It's a social lounge. It looks like they got a big screen up here where they watch stuff. Sorry, I don't know the names of these businesses. I've been laid up for 10 months with a broken back. The way that I broke it, it takes 3 months to a year to heal, and I'm 10 and a half months in and just getting to be able to be out for periods of time. Looks like it's called the Pastoria, but that's the Italian restaurant that I was telling you about. And that is on the corner of Northwest A Street and 2nd Street. So this is a flying fish. You can get crab, crawfish, catfish. You know, they have oysters and octopus because my nephew wanted some octopus and found out they served it here, so I came and got it. But that is a good place to eat also. Not much parking though. They just have this little bit here on the side, but you can park here in this parking structure above the neighborhood market. And this is the Onyx Coffee Shop. They're really big about their coffee here. They have this outdoor seating area here, and then they have the indoor part also. We have several different coffee places here. We have Onyx Coffee Shop here. Then we have Heroes down the street at Southwest A Street and 8th Street. And then we have, you know, the standard Starbucks, 7 brews. Also, we also have this place called Airship Coffee. It's up towards the trails. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this tour of the Bentonville Square. Catch you next time.